When I ask you, what do you think of old HGC kits? You will probably say, trash, waste of plastic, and bad value kits. But what you are likely thinking of are the old HG Airstrike, HG Duo, and the awful HG Freedom. But what if I tell you there is a kit among the old HGC line that stands out so much it may be able to contend with kits of the modern era? But before I tell you what kit it is, let me ask you this. If you are a person who thinks there are too many C kits out there and it is taking precious plastic and resource away from other lines like UC and Wing, I will tell you to think again. Don't let your bias fool you. Only up to when the anime Gundam Build Fighter came out did we get the first HG Revive C kit. The HG Airstrike in 2014, and not for another 2 years till we get the HG Freedom Revive, and another excruciating 5 years that we got the HG Destiny Revive. Only from that point did HG Revive C kits slowly grew in numbers, boosted majorly by the release of Gundam Seed Freedom just last year. But, a very large but, the crucial point here is that the majority of OGC designs like the Duel, the Buster, and the Mobile Jin does not have a true HG Revive yet, although the HG Lightning Buster and the Blitz Duel has hinted at the upcoming revival of the OG design. Whatever it is you want to say, my point still stands. Suits like the Justice, the secondary protagonist suit of Gundam Seed, the Providence and Legend, both main antagonist suit of Seed and Seed Destiny, still haven't received the revived treatment. Even arguably the most famous and beloved suit to have came out of Gundam Seed as a whole, the Astray Red Frame and its variants still hasn't gotten an HG Revive yet. And why am I placing such a heavy emphasis on them needing HG Revive? Because HG is the core of Gunpla. It has always been and always will be. HG are the most accessible to all ages and demographic of Gunpla builders, not master grades, not real grades, and most certainly not perfect grades. It is a predatory practice that Bandai has been doing for a long time. Why make an HG Revive Justice for cheap if we can make it into a master grade? And milked the desperate Justice fans. Instead of reviving the original 5 Gundams in Seed with HGs, they instead made them all into MGs. I hear you, master grade fans out there, but you have to understand the fact that not everyone has the money and space to buy an MG, let alone getting all of them to complete the line. So, in the end, what kit am I hyping up so badly about? I present to you the one and only HG Aegis Gundam, a kit so ahead of its era, it still looks good with modern kits on your shelf. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me again, and today we're taking a look at the HG 144th Aegis Gundam, the only HG 144 of it that I have known. It is a Bandai product of course, and the mobile suit did originate from Gundam Seed. And let's just appreciate this insanely good box art. I just love the color and style of it so much. You can see the Aegis Gundam letter in the background, and inside the letters are the pictures of the Aegis Gundam. It's just such a nice graphic design choice. Aegis Gundam again, in case you don't know. And interestingly enough, I did bought this kit for $15 at Toys Arena. Honestly, I'll say if you can find it for $15, that is really good price to find this kit at. So I do recommend you looking out for it in the wild. So let's crack open the box here and see what we get. First, we see this really nice looking manual. I always prefer manual having art of the Gundams rather than the actual picture of the kit itself, but that's just me. Looking inside, you see the total run count is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you can see, it's a really big booklet, but actually there's not that many steps. So the steps are just really big. Gunpla manuals in the modern era is just so cramped. Like I think the most notorious example is the high grade Zeta Revive. That thing manual is cramped so badly. Of course, all of it's in Japanese, no English. So a bit of an articulation spoiler, it does have a thigh swivel, and they made it an effort to show off that it can be transformed. The transformation step is actually fully colored, so that really helped if anyone have difficulties with transforming their kits. And looking at the runners, I love this kit's color. This is such a vibrant looking red. And on the inner frame, it is not just a standard gray, it is more like a gunmetal and does have a small sticker sheet. The only notable thing about Runner A is that I'm not sure if only the remastered version of the high grade Aegis Gundam have the thigh swivel. I did some research and apparently it is not. All the way back in 2002 when the original high grade Aegis came out, it already has the thigh swivel, and Bandai must have been really proud of this engineering achievement, so they made sure that you see it on the box art. And what's more unique is that even in the 1/100 non-grade Aegis box art, it also shows off that thigh swivel. Even on the 1/144th non-grade Aegis Model 2, even though it doesn't have a thigh swivel, they still show it off there as well. And similarly, same thing for the Buster 2, although not as noticeable, you can see old high grade Buster also have thigh swivel, and Bandai does kind of hinted at it on the box art as well. And looking at other kits from the same line back then, Bandai, of course, they show off what they're proud of and they kind of hide what they're not proud of. Looking at the high grade Airstrike box, you don't really see it have a thigh swivel, and you do get a little freebie of sticker style decals. Starting at the head, I do want to point out the impressive thing is that it only has two stickers, the eye stickers and the forehead cameras. Not the forehead camera, the antennas camera. There is supposed to be another sticker for the inside the V-fin as well, but you know, you can just cut that out and put it in yourself. I'm too lazy, so I'm not gonna do that. Same thing for the back of the head as well. And another noticeable thing here is that the V-fin isn't actually fully color accurate. It is all just one yellow piece, but on the manual you can see that the center gem is supposed to be the same pink that the body is in. The head sculpt is really squished. Looks a little bit too thin when you compare it to the line art, especially its manual art here. The head look a lot more wide. That's one thing I find about these older kits, is that like their head sculpt is where the kits get ruined. Looking at the arms here, it has a really long bicep, which is a really big shame because for such a long bicep, it only has one elbow bend. The shoulder armor can move up and down independently, and so does the foot-like blade thing on its forearm. It does have two joint in it to allow for a lot of movement, and of course the white blade can move on its own as well. Also, I do want to point out it does have a pretty bad seam line on top of the shoulder here. There's another seam line inside the shoulder and another seam line on the forearms right here. Looking at the main body here, the first thing you can see is that the chest and the hip is basically one big piece, so you're not going to be able to achieve any waist rotation. The neck is also just on one singular joint, so it is pretty much static most of the time. The back fin can flap up and down. Two of them can flap up and down. Just point out again that is a pretty bad seam line on that bottom fin there. But good thing is that these fins are pretty well color separated. But looking underneath the bigger fin, there is another seam line down there as well. And to point out another imperfection about this kit, these backpack thrusters, they're supposed to have another color, which is the navy blue on the outside. But this kit does feature a upward swinging shoulder joint, which I really like. I always think upward swinging shoulder joints are much better than outward swinging shoulder joints. As you can see, the hips are on pegs. A front skirt can be flipped up and down. Pretty surprised by that actually for such an old kit like this. And at the side skirts, pointing out there is a seam line on the very back here, and they're supposed to have the navy blue in the thrusters, so they're supposed to have navy blue back here as well. And looking at this leg, the most impressive aspect to me because of this kit's age, it does have a independent thigh swivel, which is just amazing. I can confidently say there's not much kits from this era that was able to achieve this. I don't think they started making this common all the way up until maybe the high grade 00 season 2 line. Not even the high grade 00 season 1 kits have it, aside for the Kyrios, I think. I'm not too sure. The frame armor piece is a separate piece itself, so it is color separated. The toes does have a pretty bad seam line here. Yeah, it's just a shame because when you really think about it, why didn't they just make it a whole single piece like this piece here on the forearm? But instead it is two little pieces clamped together, and that allows for a seam line problem to exist. Rolling the articulation here a little bit, this toes is on a ball joint and it can swing around, do basically everything a ball joint can do. And looking at the beam saber here, it does look really clean, really well sculpted for the most part. It is just two pieces clamped together, so it does allow that seam line problem to exist. It is missing a sticker here for the barrel scope. The only thing special about this rifle is that the handle can be folded inwards and it will expose a 3mm peg so you can stick it onto the side skirt. Looking at the shield, and honestly this is probably the other impressive aspect about this kit for me. The pink is on its own piece, the white bottom blade is on its own piece as well, which is so impressive. I don't even think the high grade L Strike in this same line was able to achieve that, but the kit is very solid once put together. So in the end, how do you get this fantastic kit onto an action base? You do have an action base adapter from the remastered edition. You just plug it in from under and there you go. You can plug it onto any 3mm action base, and these are the leftover polycaps you get. So in the end here, that's just my final thoughts. So, should you buy this kit? Yes and no. Yes, if you're a Aegis fan and an Athranzala fan, definitely go hunt this down. This will be a great addition to your collection of his suits. If you are not an Athranzala fan or an Aegis fan, and you're just like maybe a Gunpla fan or a Plamo fan in general, I would not recommend this kit because the remastered version made it look great with the updated colors, but at its core is still the old 2002 high grade. Not saying that it's bad, as you can see throughout the review already. It is a great kit, not a good kit, a great kit according to today's modern standards. Even though it have a thigh swivel, it doesn't have a waist swivel, which is something the master grade does have. And looking at the pictures and review of the master grades, it does look like a waist swivel. Definitely helps a lot more in poses, and upcoming shortly here I will show you some demonstration poses I did with this kit, and you will see that even though with a thigh swivel, it still feels limited because it doesn't have a waist swivel. Another reason why I would say to maybe not get this and hold off for a revive, because I can definitely smell revive coming sometime soon. Recently Bandai did announce that they're gonna make a revive of a high grade Sea Destiny kit. I'm not sure if they will follow through with that and this is specifically something from Seed Destiny. It could be just something from Seed in general, but the promotion picture that they put out did show the Seed Destiny logo, so bet your chances on that. But another reason why I think a revive is coming is because back when Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise came out, the second suit in the second season for that one guy, forgot his name, I don't know his name, but in the first season he had the Justice Knight fantastic kit, and that led to the revive Infinite Justice, and that frame led all the way to the high grade Infinite Justice Type 2. And of that same character, in the second season, he pilots the, I think, Aegis Knight? I think that's what it's called. And I'll have to go check out the review of it again to see how much of it is really an Aegis originated kit. From what I do remember, it does have a similar transformation gimmick, and it can transform into basically the same modes that the original Aegis has. So I really hope Bandai remembers, hey, we have a semi-revived frame from this kit from Re-Rise. Hopefully we can take it out, put original Aegis armor on it, and put it out there and get a lot of money, because the Aegis is definitely way overdue for a revive at this point. Even the Justice. Honestly, Athens Zala suits has been on the backwater of Bandai's treatment. Of course, the Aegis hasn't gotten a revive. The high grade Justice hasn't gotten revive. Anything, it got a shitty real grade and a good master grade. Don't get me wrong, but not everyone has the money and space for a master grade Justice. That is a big kit. And the Savior hasn't gotten HG revive either. Fun fact, I do have an HG Savior in my backlog. If you want a review of that, do let me know. I can get that pushed out. It is a very simple kit from what I see, so I can definitely snap it up real quick, make a quick video about it, and get it out. Only very recently has Athens Zala been getting some love again, mainly with just his Infinite Justice. The original Infinite Justice in Gundam Seed Destiny, and the Infinite Justice Type 2 in Seed Freedom. Even his Zergok got own original kit. Can you believe that? The Zergok from Seed Freedom got a kit before his Aegis, before his Savior, before his Justice. I'm not complaining, it is a cool looking kit. I'm willing to get it myself, but at the end of the day, I'm more of a Gundam fan than any other kind of suits in the franchise, so I do want to see more Gundam revives. But my last thoughts here on this kit, its proportion is just a little bit wonky, due to its age, of course. The thighs are too short, the bottom leg does look okay, it doesn't need to be really reshaped or anything. It's just because the thighs is so short, it makes the whole leg look short, but in actuality, the lower leg is actually pretty long. We just need a longer thigh so that it will look more balanced. The head is way too small and way too narrow. It looks a little bit derpy. Sorry, you look a little bit derpy in this kit. The chest is way too big and it doesn't have a waist rotation, so severely limits its posability, but I guess that's why they made up for it with a thigh swivel. Now let's move on to its demonstration poses. So on the first pose here, like I said before, the chest is quite big, so compared to the rest of the body in a pose, it can look a bit too out of place. The side skirt also is very big, but if you can position it right, it won't be as bad. The feet luckily are very sharp looking, so they really helps in a dynamic pose. Spike the shoulders up definitely helps making the gun look a lot cooler and bigger. The head, because with a narrower face, it does look pretty cool actually. So maybe it looks better in a pose. It's one of those cases, it will look better in a pose than standing still. So not much to say here for the second pose, aside that we don't really get Beam Saber's effect parts in this kit. So with the white blade on the toes and forearms alone, I hope you can just imagine that there's something there for the Beam Sabers, but with the white blade it's cool enough. And just have things point out in different direction, don't have everything point in one direction, that will look pretty bad. The shield points out in a different direction, maybe in a similar direction but slightly tilted like upwards. Have the gun points out the other way, the blade of the other feet points out another way as well, but still make sure to keep the head looking at where it strikes. So it is the end of the video. Once again, like every other video, thank you for watching to the end. I really appreciate you guys' support as always. Someone that I know in real life, one of you as my followers on Instagram, anyone just coming across my channel and watching this video, thank you, and thank you for watching this. I did put a lot of effort into this video, mostly more than all my previous ones. I try to make it a lot more professional than I can usually. Did a lot of cutting and editing in my voice lines. I don't know if you can catch it, but I do like cut words here and there, cut sentences, cut out the ums and uhs, and literally, you know. I don't really like those kind of words in my videos. I think those are really unprofessional filler words. I know I'm not a big channel or anything, but good to have practices. But once again, thank you, and please come back for more videos in the future. Maybe not future, maybe as far as next month. I am really trying to push out more videos this year. I know I say that, I always say that, I know I always say like, oh, more video coming soon, more video coming soon. But things just happen in my life. You never know what hits you, and it's unfortunate. But this year I am making it a goal that I'm staying disciplined. I am making a video. I'm making at least one video a month, no matter what it will be. HG, SD, MG, RG, third-party model kits, knockoff, Chinese company, whatever. I am determined to do it. Yeah, hopefully soon I want to branch out to something other than just reviewing. You know, I want to do something more like commentary, not like not like YouTube slop commentary, but more like Gundam commentary. Talk about previous Gundam topics, like the debate on third parties and Chinese company kits. You know, are those legit? That's actually a video that I've been really brainstorming in my head for a long time. So hopefully I'll write a script. I'll write a proper script for that, do the proper research, and push out a good high quality video. But any other Gundam commentary topics you want me to talk about, I'm not particularly the most knowledgeable on Gundam lore. Actually, the only thing I can really tell you on is how good a Gundam kit is. I don't own like a lot, but I do own a good amount, and I do know a good amount about kits that I don't own. So anything like that, any type of Gundam commentary you want me to make, leave it down in the comment below. I'll maybe try to get to them too. But anyways, this is the third time saying it. Thank you again for watching. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.